Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of D-List Diaries. You have me, Nicole, hi, and a very, very special guest that, as you can tell, I'm super excited for. We have Krysten from Married at First Sight San Diego in the house.
Hi!
Hi.
I'm so excited to be here.
Oh my gosh, I am so happy to have you. It's just the two of us tonight because we had some scheduling difficulties, but you know I'm your biggest fangirl, so I do not mind it at all.
Well, thank you. I'm so excited to spend some intimate girly time with you. And I don't know if everybody knows, but we've met in person in New York City maybe a year ago.
Yeah, I think that was like last December already.
Yeah.
That was like the
Yeah.
highlight. I was like, oh my God, I get to meet Krysten from Married at First Sight. As if I wasn't also on the show, but I forget sometimes. And I just love
Oh
you.
my God. I'm the biggest fangirl too. I love the show. I've always loved the show. This is actually the first season. Sadly, I have not watched, and it's only because I've been so busy. So, sorry. But I watched yours and I watched Denver, and I just haven't seen the most recent one, but I will watch it.
You should, because this is actually a very good season.
Oh,
So I
good.
recommend it. We're
Better than
enjoying this great.
ours?
Yeah, sadly. Well, there's like a good mix of drama and love and developing
Yay.
relationships, but mostly drama. Like I'm that person. I like the drama. I just don't like the mean drama.
Yeah, absolutely. We love like a character arc too.
Forget the show for a minute. Let's talk about you. You're not in New York anymore, right? You bought a house.
I did. So, long story long, the last 3.5 years, I've been a remote worker. I've had to like report to a satellite office basically. And as of July of this year, I'm no longer a remote worker. So they were like, get your butt into this office basically. So I'm about an hour and a half south of DC, if you're familiar with the East Coast and with Virginia at all. And I bought, this is my second house. I've owned a home
Oh,
before. You know,
oh,
I know, I love owning homes. I love decorating them, etc. So I've been like project after project. I closed in July, moved here in July, and I mean, Luna feels like she's living in a palace because it's 10 times the size of our studio apartment. But I miss New York. I love New York, but we're happy like in our big space and growing roots, and we're really happy. We meaning me and Luna.
well, obviously. I mean,
Yeah.
she is your child, so of course. But
Yeah.
that's wonderful. Yeah, I loved seeing you in New York, but I love seeing your house on Instagram because I watch all your little videos and it looks like it's coming along nicely.
It is. It's almost done.
Ooh, well,
Yeah.
I'm going to invite myself to come and see it when it's all done.
Absolutely. And I'll give you like a tour. I'll send you a tour at some point. It's like 90% there. I'm a
Okay.
crazy perfectionist, but we're getting there.
I mean, we've been in this house since last September and it's still like maybe 70% there. So,
Yes, a woman's eye. Like that's what we're there for, to make it perfect, make it a home,
yeah,
make this house
make
a
it
home.
exactly. Is Luna snoring like amplified with all the space now?
She is like fully deaf.
Oh,
She's 11 years old now, so she cannot hear anything, and her eyesight is going a little bit. So all to say, somehow the snoring is even louder because she can't hear herself to
oh my
like
goodness.
manage it anymore. But I think she's really happy. I mean, she seems to be. She sleeps a lot, and she's getting old.
Oh, well, I mean, 11 is, we have one who's almost 11. And I'm like, you still have time, but
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I mean, I'm hoping she lives to be at least 20. She loves the big space. She's definitely snoring louder than ever. And I think I have like 6 or 7 more years left with her.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. Good. I'm glad you girls are happy. You seem happy. I mean, you always seem happy, but what is Instagram versus real life, you know?
No, I know. No, we're really, really happy. Sadly, too, with the New York thing, I haven't told a lot of people this. She got really, really sick when we were in New York, like
Oh.
almost died. Um, I think from what I could tell, and I was walking her because you don't have a car in New York. I
Right.
was walking her to the vet definitely weekly, almost every other day, every 3 days. They could not figure out what was wrong with her. We've decided it was like a certain bacteria from the streets. like the
Oh.
dirty streets of New York. And like, she's a
Mm-hmm.
little girl, so she would like kind of squat in the street. And it was all just kind of like her stomach system and like her UTI tract just got so she just became so sick. I thought I was actually going to have to end up putting her down.
Oh my
And then
God.
when work kind of shifted me back into the office, I stayed with my parents and she got better nearly overnight.
Oh,
So
wow.
I took her to the vet down here and they were like, look, we can't tell you to leave New York, obviously.
Right.
But like we think that it's the city grime like on her body that's wearing and tearing her. So fun fact, that was also a contributing factor. I felt like I was about to have to choose between Luna having my dog or New York, which is crazy, but it really happened. It was a very dark time when we left. I was very, very sad as to what I was going to do with her.
Oh,
But now
I'm
she's
so
better than ever. I
sorry.
know. I know that's a crazy, really dramatic story, but it is very true. Can
Yeah,
you
not
imagine?
surprising because, I lived in New York my whole life and it's disgusting. And she's a little dog. She's so close to the
Yeah,
ground.
exactly. Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't think of it, but it it really happened. It was the wildest thing. And then never a problem since we left.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you probably feel even better about your decision to move now that she's in
Exactly.
good health. But
I think
oh,
we'll be here a while, but I definitely miss it, and I always love San Diego. And I miss and love San Diego too. But now we have like enough money to have a home and travel. So maybe some trips to Nashville soon.
please, we have 3 dogs and a guest room, so you're always welcome.
I love it. I still have to come because I adore Nashville and I would love to meet the other gals too.
Yeah. So I want to start this off. My favorite question that I never ask, ironically, when we thought of this podcast, it came about because we jokingly call ourselves D-listers because, we're not A, B, C list celebrities, but we're moderately recognizable. So I would love to know what your experience was like going from, you were never a zero, but that's just the frame of reference, going from zero to D-list. And do you still get recognized now that it's been, what, 3 years since your show?
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. So first of all, I never imagined like the amount of overwhelming positivity, the kindest things people tell me on Instagram. I read a lot of them, not all of them, but I read a lot of them. I definitely can't respond to all of them, but I never imagined in a million years the kindness because I always picture trolls on the internet.
Yeah.
So I still get flooded of messages, not from any cute boys, quite
Oh,
honestly, but from amazing women who say that, I mean, all these kind things I don't even deserve, but that I've helped them grow their confidence back and that they've left their horrible husbands
oh,
and I helped
wow.
them. And I'm like, oh, wow, go, get it, girl, always, for sure. So that has been amazing. And then, honestly, you'll see, but people recognizing you, it doesn't go less and less and less. It's more and more and more. We'll get to dating, I'm sure, in a second. But I was
Mm-hmm.
I was on a date recently, a first date, and I do tell my gentleman. That makes me sound like a lady of the night, but I
You,
do tell my gentleman, usually like maybe second or third date. This
okay.
one, lately, I'm just like off the cuff, like the first date. I'm just like, FYI, this happened. I did this, and we have a laugh about it. And thank God I told this one on the first date because when we
Oh,
went to the
no.
second place, someone tapped me on the shoulder while we were ordering our drinks and said, "Are you Kristen from Married at First Sight?" And he looked at me and just busted out
Oh,
laughing.
my
We had
God.
the best time. But yes, so any sort of like, and you probably get this too, airports all the
Mm-hmm.
time, malls, which I don't really go to the mall that much, but if I'm in the mall, absolutely. Oh my gosh, I did volunteer work recently. Because
Oh,
I'm sure we'll get to this, but I've been like hermiting, decorating my home, trying to really like work on myself, journaling, like
I
thinking
love
about
that.
intentions and things. And so I picked up volunteer work, and at that, there, the donor was like, "You're
No.
Kristen." married at first sight. And I was like, yes, I am. So anyway, it's actually quite a lot and way more than I ever thought imaginable. And everybody is really, really kind. And I think it's very brave and kind of them to like come up to us and say, we loved you on the show. Sometimes they're like, I don't remember who you were with or what happened, but I remember I liked you,
Yeah.
which is nice too. So
I love that. Yeah,
yeah,
we've been getting a big influx of messages and people recognizing us because our season just went on Netflix. So
yes,
we kind of were laying in the quiet zone for a little, but I don't wear my wedding ring if I'm just like running errands or leaving the house quickly because I forget.
yeah.
And I'll be in the grocery store and someone will be like, "Oh my God, it's you." And they'll look at my hand. I'm like, "Oh yeah, I just ran out. Like Chris is at home. We're still happily married," because you just see the look of disappointment when they don't see my ring. But to your point, there's so many nice people out there. I often feel I don't deserve it. I'm like, I was just being me. I don't deserve you.
100%.
Like, I'm glad inspired you, and that makes me feel so good about myself. And nowadays at the trolls, I just laugh at them because I'm like, this was 2.5 years ago, dude. Like, I'm sorry you think I'm bossy. I am bossy. Okay, cool. Like, not an insult. It's just interesting to hear everyone's stories because there's some people who love the attention, and then I know other people are like, no, that's not me. Get away from me. But we like attention.
Bossy is a sexist term for a female leader. So
Yeah.
they can suck it. And being a leader and confident is wonderful. And we need more bossy people in the world.
Yeah. I'm like, if you're bossy, you get what you want. And doesn't everyone deserve what they want? So stay quiet, my
Exactly.
friend.
Well, I love it. And I think it's amazing that you gals do this podcast, by the way. I think it's so brave to step outside your norm, comfort zone, whatever, and like do something. And I just think it's really amazing that you guys are doing it, and I'm happy to be here.
Well, thank you. You are always welcome back because we hear our own voices enough and we love to hear different perspectives. But you're pretty close with the girls from your cast as well, right?
Yes, Stasha, and Alexis and Lindy went to Tulum, which is south of
Ooh.
Cancun. I don't know how well everybody knows Tulum, but
Yeah.
south of Cancun last year. We want to do a trip every year. I can't believe it's been almost a year since we did that trip, but they're good. They're amazing. I don't want to say we don't really talk to Morgan that much. We definitely invite her on these things, but I think she's maybe just kind of like
Over it.
over
Mm-hmm.
over it and not wanting to keep reliving it. And I get that. I
I get
understand
that.
that. We wish her the best, and I would still love to stay in contact and be friends. But I think she's still in San Diego. I'm on the other side of the
Right.
the coast, obviously. Alexis is in Chicago now.
Oh,
Stasha is in LA. And Lindy's a flight attendant who travels a lot, but is
everywhere.
still in San Diego. Yeah.
Well, we should do a season 15, season 16 podcast big group thing because we love you guys. And I remember on
Yeah.
our honeymoon, I might have told you this already, but I haven't told the listeners. On our honeymoon, there was a night where we needed a break from the men, and it was a Wednesday. So we all got into Gina and Clint's bed. Well, I guess just Gina's at that point, but we got into Gina's bed and we had my iPad and this janky Jamaican Wi Fi, and we were trying to watch your season's honeymoon because it
Yeah,
was
at the same
airing that
time.
night. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
We're like, oh my God, we love these girls. So it made us feel better about our friendships because we saw you guys forming friendships. And we're like, oh, we can focus on more than just our marriages.
Oh my God, absolutely. Oftentimes we get so like focused on romantic relationships, but our siblings and our friends and our girlfriends are just as important of a relationship as your romantic relationship.
Yeah. And I use a lot of what I learned on the show in my friendships. I'm like, this is a good moment to communicate, take your emotions out of it, be very assertive in what you need.
Exactly.
Speaking of people from the show, do you talk to Mitch at all?
I don't talk to Mitch, but I have seen him watch my Instagram stories.
Oh, we see you lurking, Mitch. That's really
Um,
funny.
Yes, I think he has a new girlfriend. I have not talked to him since I sent him the divorce papers. I wish him the best. I have a whole new perspective on him, quite honestly, than when the show was airing.
In what way?
Well, during the show, I was like, oh, I really, really wanted like this to work, obviously. And like we're married, Mitch. Like let's try to make this work. This is going to sound crazy. I
Go
kind of
for it.
I kind of get him a little bit.
Okay.
Now, let me disclaimer.
Go for it.
He was on the wrong show. Let me just say, no matter that
Fair.
I understand him now, that doesn't mean he was on the right show. He was still on the wrong show. But I understand having qualities in someone, values in someone. I understand having those things that those qualities that you're looking for in a significant other and not wanting to compromise on them. I get it. Again, not the right guy to get match made and marry a
Right.
stranger on TV. However, now I'm really, like I said, focusing on what I want and my value. The older I get, my list of qualities that I want should get shorter. That list is getting longer and longer.
Well, you've tried enough to know what works and what doesn't. So that makes
Yes.
sense.
Yes. So, if anything, like, I think that he was really brave to just be so like convicted as to what
Yeah.
he wanted. Now, I think that just because, like I said, I understand doesn't mean that it's okay to all the things that happened. But
Right.
honestly, what happened was supposed to happen, and we both learned a lot, and I really, really, truly wish him the best. And I think he's gonna find what he's looking for, and I think I'm gonna find what I'm looking for.
I know you're going to find it. But I would like to play a clip, and this is not to bring back
Yeah.
bad memories, but
No,
this
I'm
is
good. I'm
this
good.
is because when I tell you, when I think of you, like this to me, and I didn't know you at this point, you were just a girl on a show that I was watching, and I saw you like come into your confident queenness in such a way. I was like, I love this girl, and I would like to play
Oh,
it
that's so
so
sweet.
everyone else can see what I'm talking about.
I think that if you talk this over, you'll find that there's enough attraction and
I'm gonna stop you right there, Dr. Pepper. I really, really respect you guys. I do, and I am like a huge advocate of the experience, but I am not going to accept he is attractive to me enough. I came in a full woman, a confident woman who was so excited about life and to be a part of you guys in this experience. I want somebody who is excited that I've walked into the room, and I want somebody who thinks that I'm beautiful with a little bit of makeup on. And I'm done.
Boom.
Woohoo! You tell him, girl.
I so felt seen by you in that moment, even though it had nothing to do with me. Because I'm like, yes, it's not about you needing to be this made up queen, whatever. It's more just like you want and deserve to be accepted for who you are. And the fact that you said that not only to him, but to the experts, I've like stood up and clapped for you because it
Thank
was
you.
so brave of you. And I'm so proud that you did that. And you're very inspiring. And that
Thank
is what made me
you
fangirl so
so
hard.
much. That is so sweet. I had been like feeling those feelings for so long. And I had been like replaying in my head all the things that I wanted to say. And then that night, I just was like, everything that I had been wanting to say just like came out of my mouth.
Yes.
I mean, all of those things, everything that happens on the show, is so genuine. And like, it's so funny when people say, oh, this is staged and this isn't real. Everything is like realer than real.
Yeah.
And it's just, you get in this mindset where other people are telling you, I'm not blaming the experts or anything like that, but you have your thoughts that you're very, very certain of. And then other people kind of, well, he did this because of
Right.
this. And well, you should really, really, really keep trying. And I mean, I am thankful I tried for as long as I did. But yeah, I mean, I just had it. The true feelings of just what I was bottling up just like all came out. But I feel that way now, and I felt that way then. Like, we as women, we bring so much value to the table, and we deserve and we should be with a partner who wants to be with us.
Right.
When we don't have that, we settle for something different, it doesn't work. At least it's not the kind of love or relationship I want. Like, I want someone who is going to bring equal value, who is going to see my worth, and who is going to make things better in a relationship with me than me being single. So
Right.
I
And that's
refuse
not
to settle.
sustainable. And you shouldn't, because if you were to say, oh, I won't wear makeup, I'll do whatever it is that you're looking for, how long does that last? Because then you're just miserable or you're a completely different person. So I just love that you said that. And I honestly love that you said it more so to the experts, because I feel like they were doing a little backtracking, like, oh, well, we have a problem here, but we can really work on it. Why should I have to work on it? Why should I have
Yeah.
to be okay with him saying that it's enough?
Who wants to be with someone they find attractive enough?
Right. No
I don't
one.
want that. He doesn't want that.
No. No.
It's just square peg round hole, and it's okay.
Yeah. The important stuff. Let's go back to date. Not that it's not important, but we have to talk about Married at First Sight, because everyone
Of
wants to
course.
know. But what I want to know is what dating looks like now, and what that period was like when the show was done airing or done filming, but not done airing yet. So you had to pretend you were still married, but dating. Can we talk about that a little bit?
Okay, let's start there. So, sadly, and not fun, I really wanted to do the experiment the right way, and I had to wear my ring.
Yeah.
Remember? So they make you wear your ring after decision day. You guys obviously said yes. So you changed your name and all that stuff, and we're married. Me, we said no, but we were still supposed to wear our rings. So it was a little weird for me to try and go and be out in the dating scene and wear the ring. I
Right.
remember going out a few times with girlfriends, and I remember gentlemen, I remember them like coming up to us, and I remember them looking at me and being like, but she's married and you don't want to spoil the show, etc.
Right.
So until Decision Day aired, I really kind of kept to myself, and maybe there was an old fling, maybe, that knew the whole situation that I might have spent some time with here and
That's
there.
allowed.
I have needs. I am
Yeah.
a woman.
We support it.
Yeah, we listen and we don't
Yeah.
judge.
I love that.
Me too. But other than that, not really. Then when I got to New York, I
The
can't
good
lie to you.
stuff.
I had so much fun. Oh my God. Dating there, like dating anywhere is what you make of it. People say, oh, this city sucks for dating. Oh, New York is the worst for dating. LA is the worst. Life is what you make it. Dating is what you make it. You go into it with the right
Agreed.
attitude, you're going to have fun. My attitude when I got to New York was that I'm going to have fun. I'm going to go on some really nice dinner dates, and I don't have an end game. I'm not looking, like, there's no husband checklist. It's just like, let me focus on being treated well. Let me focus on having fun
Love this.
and seeing if there's a spark, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I went on a few, I wouldn't say like a lot, like it wasn't dozens upon dozens, but I was trying to do like a new first date a month,
Okay.
A
That's
lot of
manageable.
them. Yes, a lot of them, almost all of them. Like, I had very few bad first dates and we never spoke again. I had a lot of really great dates that would evolve into almost a relationship. And then before it was time, it was usually me being like, well, me being the problem. Hi, I'm the problem, it's me.
Yeah.
But it was usually me like, all right, I've come so far, overthinker 101.
Yeah.
I've
I
come
get
so
it.
far in life, like, is this my dude, basically? So there were, let's say, like two guys that I really, really liked and almost pulled the trigger and seriously
Oh.
dated. A lot of times when you get to know someone, which is why it's so important to take things slow, the deeper and longer you get to know someone, the more you realize you're compatible or not. So anyway, I had so much fun in New York. And then one guy I dated for almost 6 months.
Wow. Exclusively?
Yes.
Oh.
And then again, as you get to know each other,
Mhm.
something in me told me to not hard launch, and that I just really wanted like to wait the full 6 months. And right before I was gonna hard launch, he had kids, has kids, and he told me when we first started dating that he'd be open to more kids.
Oh,
Also, when I was in New York, I froze my eggs.
did
I
you?
froze
Okay, I
them. I
love that.
did. So we can circle back on that. But I froze them when I was 34. I really wanted 34-year-old eggs instead of 35-year-old eggs.
I feel that. I just hit 35, so it's a conversation we can have.
Yes, and I'm 35 now. So I froze my eggs, and he had told me that he was open to kids, but he had a vasectomy.
Yeah,
But
reversible.
he was open to reversing
Yeah.
it. As the relationship got more serious and as things got deeper, it kind of I kind of realized through actions and not words. Ladies, don't ever listen to what your man is saying. Just watch what he's doing.
Yep.
Watch his actions. Pretend like he can't speak. So his actions were showing me that he did not really want more children. Upon further digging, I think he was actually like a little bit of a right wing pro lifer extremist, to where he didn't believe in IVF. So
Oh,
there's some extreme pro lifers that do not believe in IVF because of just like the creation of the eggs and the sperm, and like
right.
the plantation and all that stuff. So anyway, long story long, we did not agree on doing IVF and having more children, which I might very well have to do IVF because I am no spring chicken.
I mean,
So anyway,
I want to
that one
disagree with
ended.
you, but I can't. As a 35-year-old woman, this is the struggle. So yeah, it's a very real problem to have. And I would imagine, you want to be aligned on that, because you don't want to marry this man and then in 2 years he's like, joke's on you, never mind. So good thing you didn't
Yes.
hard launch.
Correct. I think he would have maybe gotten a vasectomy, maybe tried the all natural way, but I might not be able to do that at 30. I'm 35, but by then I could be 37.
Right.
So anyway, that's what happened with that one. So now I'm kind of back to more so focusing on me. I will always receive any advances that I accept. Like I'm very open to it, but it's more so kind of like let's just not put so much pressure on a
Mhm.
checklist, and let's just kind of like love ourselves and look at dating maybe more so like a hobby, and see kind of where it goes. So that's what I was doing with the guy a couple nights ago. It was just like a fun first date. We actually ended up having a blast just exploring the town and going brewery hopping and having a really nice dinner. So I'm just kind of like having fun, open to love, but they have to be an equal as well, and like
Yeah.
know my worth and take things slow. That's a whole nothing sandwich, but an everything sandwich. So
Well, I feel like that's a good attitude to have, because it's not like you're putting so much pressure on marriage, especially you do have quite a very storied past with marriage. So I feel like
yes.
as long as you are having fun and spending time with someone who's deserving of it. I mean, I always said, like, I wanted to get married before the show, obviously. I wanted to be married, but if I spend my life with someone who I don't end up marrying, but we have fun, we're equals, we're learning, we're doing blah, 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 totally fine. Just be yourself and see where it goes and not put pressure on it. And then I was
Yeah,
like, no, I have to marry a
exactly.
stranger. But do you mind sharing only if you're comfortable, your other pre-married at first sight situation?
Oh yeah. Oh my God, absolutely. You guys know I'm an open book.
I know. I try to respect boundaries, because I've learned that I don't have any. So I've learned that other people can become uncomfortable. So I'm working on it in 2025, is respecting others' boundaries.
I love that for you. I'm working on putting mine up, like
It's hard.
making them.
It's
It's
hard.
so hard. And sticking to them too. You have to make them and stick to them.
What, you were engaged before, and then what
Yes.
happened?
Yes. Okay. So this is why, listeners, if you can prevent getting engaged very, very young, I'm talking like very young.
How young
Again,
were
we
you?
all learn from our mistakes. I met him when I was 21. I'm lying. October, I just turned 22 in August. So like I was a fresh 22-year-old baby. And we, again, mistake after mistake, I will own it. We moved in together like after knowing each other for like 2 weeks.
Oh,
Um,
wow. Okay.
my bad. Yeah, met him in the apartment building of my apartment complex in DC. Red flags flying all over the place per usual, but he was cute.
And at
And he
22,
was
cute is important. I'm just going to
he
stop
was
you and say
cute
that.
and really tall.
That's all you need at 22.
Very athletic, like tan skin. I mean, the guy was a looker, and we had developed a really great friendship, and we had met accidentally and like had a very, very strong relationship early on. I mean, two attractive 22-year-olds, they're going to have a good relationship early
Yeah,
on.
of course.
So, we were together until I was 28. So, honestly, we had a great relationship for a very long time, probably the first 5 years of
Oh,
it.
wow.
And then honestly, shit went downhill when he proposed. So he proposed
Man.
December of 16, and then it all went downhill. I think he got cold feet. I still have a very demanding job,
Right.
and I work a lot, and it's stressful. I manage it very well now. I didn't manage it well back then. I've done a lot of self work now. I didn't back then. And I mean, we both needed to do a lot of work on ourselves back then. So anyway, all to say, he started staying out really, really late, which he never did. I started to come downstairs like at 3 o'clock in the morning, and he would be sneaking in on the couch, which never happened before we got engaged. And then I remember being like, "Are we making a mistake?" And I was paying for everything. Again, ladies, don't do that. Do not pay for absolutely everything for a man. Try and at least split it 50-50, or pay for as least as possible if you're cranking
Right,
out the
right.
kids. So
There you
anyway,
go. There you go.
I'm paying for everything.
Oh,
Never again. And I'm like writing another check to the venue, and I'm like, you just feel checked out. It's okay. I was like, whatever it is, tell me, we'll work through it. He's like, everything's fine. I just have cold feet.
oh,
So of course, two
liar.
weeks prior to the wedding, everything's paid for. I mean, the frickin' band, the salmon on the menu, the
Oh,
the table skirts, it's all
like
done.
everything.
And yeah, and I remember I got off work kind of early, and I went to go see him at work. And he was sorry, it's not funny. He was like a beer tender, not a bartender, but basically like worked at
It's
a brewery
different.
and poured beer. It's a different thing. So I
He
remember
was
the
cute.
brew. He was very cute and funny. And I remember that the brewery got news that they hadn't paid their rent in like 6 months. It was closing down, and everybody was drunk, and except me, of course. And they're all upset that they're losing their jobs. And anyway, I go to the bathroom, and his mistress, I didn't know, but his mistress followed me into the bathroom. She was wasted. I just in my work clothes,
Oh,
and she's like, I think she says, she's like, "You stupid bitch."
n- no. She
To
said
me.
that to you?
She said it to me. And I was washing my hands, and I was like, "Me?" And she was like, she said something like they had been together like that Monday. It was like a Thursday, and that I knew I did not know, and that I didn't want to admit it, and I was the crazy person who didn't want to let him go. And I was like, where is she getting this story from? How in the world would that make sense? So anyway, I finally I always had that feeling, of course, and I had been asking him about it. I finally had the proof I needed, and I should have called it off sooner, but he just kept telling me it was okay, and that because his behavior for 5.5 years was fine. So I was like, do I base 4 months of weird behavior, or do I take 5.5 years of behavior?
Right.
What is real? And anyway, I ended up calling it all off. And that was 2 weeks before we were going to get married. And honestly, in hindsight, it was one of the best things that could ever happen.
Well, yeah. I mean, I am just speechless. I didn't know that part of the story, but do you have
Oh,
her name? Do you have her name? Because there is no expiration date on bitch slapping someone who calls you a bitch.
don't worry. I got my revenge. But I'm trying. I'm not a vengeful person anymore. And again, I've done a lot of inner work, and things are the way exactly how they're supposed to be. That was a while ago, though. That was in 2018. And then the show approached, whatever, you approach each other in 21. So I had been healed by that point. And then, of course, it aired all of 2022.
Did you apply or did they reach out to you for the show?
I got an ad on my Instagram.
Oh.
Uh-huh. And then I don't know, did you apply or did they reach out to you?
They reached out to me, but not directly. They reached out to someone I worked with to see if he knew anyone. Like the casting guy knew a guy I worked with. And he was like, actually, I know someone who just last week said that she would go on the show if it ever came to Nashville. So I spoke to them the day that they started casting. I didn't even know they were in Nashville yet. So I'm on the phone with this guy thinking it's a practical joke. And he's like, oh my God, apply immediately. So that was February of 2022. So I went through that process from February to July. Meanwhile, they're hounding Instagram trying to find men. And I'm sitting there for 6 months like, should I date? Should I not? But
I know it's weird.
crazy.
Like you don't know what to do.
So do you want to get married? Is that like the end goal, or are you just looking for someone to enjoy life with?
Isn't it funny how, like, you are born and then you have this plan and this image in your head for your life. And sometimes it just simply doesn't go that way. And it's okay. Like, it
Yeah.
doesn't mean that this life can't be beautiful as well. That's all to say a long way of course, absolutely, yes. However, I do have a very realistic fear of marrying the wrong person. I know sacrifices need to be made, but I feel like people either, when they get married, they've either gotten lucky or they've settled. I think a ton of people get lucky and meet their person and they marry them, and that's amazing. I do think a lot of people settle, though.
I agree. I agree with that.
And I don't want to be the settler. I want to be the lucky one. And I'm fine with, I have a really good life. Like, I'm really, really happy. And I would love to get married to the right guy. And if not, that's really okay.
Well, we make these plans for ourselves when we are 22 or 18 or, a teenager, and you're like, I'm going to get married at 25 and have 17 kids. Like, you don't know any better. So it is okay to adjust that plan. And I'm totally in agreement with you. As someone who considers myself one of the lucky ones, I'm sure everyone does when they're newly married. They're like, yeah, I'm one of those.
Yeah, they should.
I think because of the way Chris and I got married, we truly are very lucky. But we say it all the time. If we met out in the real world, we would never have dated. He would have hated dating me. I would have hated dating him because our dating styles were so different. So we got very lucky that we were matched, because otherwise we wouldn't have married.
I love that for you.
All of that to say is I'm one of the lucky ones, and I know you will be too, because if I had any single friends, you would be the first any good, deserving, cute, meaningful friends, I would send them your way.
You're so sweet, and you are one of the lucky ones, and I think that's amazing. And I think a lot of people are, and I can be too. And that's why I froze my eggs. Like, I have no issue waiting. I mean, maybe he comes at 40, whatever. Like, I'm good.
Would you be open, and you don't have to answer this, boundaries, but would you be open to kids without, not necessarily without a husband, but without having someone who's confirmed as a life partner?
Great question. Okay, if you would have asked me that question a year ago, I would say absolutely not. And I was thinking about it more and more and more. I have a good job. I am very, very stable. I think that I'm becoming more and more open to it. Like,
Okay.
Again, when your life doesn't turn out exactly the way you wanted it to at 22, that doesn't mean a slightly different road is not just as beautiful. So I would say I am kind of coming around to it. Why the hell not? Why not?
Yeah.
Now it would be one for sure, just one.
Yeah.
I could see myself, if by 40 I still have not gotten lucky, then I would have one baby and give him or her like an amazing, amazing life and be like both the mother figure and the father figure. I have an amazing supportive family. I have 5 sisters,
Oh,
and
wow.
my parents, I'm really, really close with my parents, and they're about 2 hours from me. That child would have an amazing life. I do think though, in that case, there might be something to adoption there.
Okay.
Why not? But who knows? Who knows? We'll see.
You might not even have to make that decision. So
Yeah.
it is an interesting thing to think about because, to your point, you don't think about these things until you have to. And I have read, and I've read it on Instagram, full disclosure, but I have read that women who have their first child after 35 tend to live longer and have healthier babies. No offense to anyone and everyone out there who has
Yes.
had children under 35. It is just what I've read, and I need to keep saying to myself to feel better about not being the 28-year-old mom that I wanted to be. But here we are.
Yeah, well, we have to live longer because as women, we give a lot to our families, and we got to take care of them.
Yeah. I mean, really, the second I turned 35, I was like, I can feel my eggs just drying up. I'm regretting that I didn't freeze my eggs. So I wish I had done it even a year ago. So I'm really happy to hear that you did because just having the option, I feel like takes stress off your back.
Yeah, absolutely. And I also think like option C, no kids, no husband, like honestly, I've kind of accepted that it could happen. And I really, again, I'm all about finding like the inner happiness. And I really would be just fine. I mean, life is lifing, left, right, and center. It's coming. It's coming fast. And honestly, I'm just very, very grateful for what I do have. And I don't want to constantly want to be seeking more and upset about what I don't have, you know?
Yeah. And there are many people out there who would be so grateful to have what we have. So I try to keep that
Yeah.
perspective of everyone always wants more, but at what point are you just happy with where you are? So I'm gonna take that. You've said that, and I'm gonna take that and put it in my mental bank because I feel like sometimes I'm always like, oh, but we could be doing this and that. But think about where you are. And you've been journaling. Sorry, that was a brain rant
Yes, no,
that I
you
just had.
seem very, very similar to me in that, and I have been like this a very, very long time. I always want the best. I always want more. I always want, oh, if I'm in Spain, then I need to go to Italy. And like
Right.
if I have a condo, then I need a house. I've always been that way. But recently I've been trying to find the balance of still being the go-getter and still wanting better and more, but also being grateful for what we have. So part of my daily ritual, I do Pilates in the morning, and then I also cook an amazing breakfast, of course.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Tell me about this amazing breakfast.
It's always a lot of veggies and a lot of egg scramble, and then I gotta have a piece of wheat toast, and then normally some sort of smoothie with like some more protein in it.
I'm really bad at eating and I'm always hungry. And that's what I want my breakfast to be every day.
I'm always hungry. I have to eat around the clock. So yes, I do Pilates and then I gratitude journal. This is going to sound crazy and cheesy and cliche, but if you just take a second to write down the things that you are grateful for, it has to be very, very specific and it has to be within the last day. Your brain will start being optimistic and being grateful for like, oh my gosh, the Pilates instructor remembered my name today. Oh my gosh, Luna didn't snore as loudly last night. Like, you will find anything to be grateful
Yeah.
for, and at the end of the day, you will have a better day. It's wild. It's like almost changed my life.
I believe that. I mean, I used to, well, because I stopped doing this because life got away from me. But for the past few years, I used to write one to two things every day, whether it was big, small, just something to remember the day. And then on New Year's Day, the next year, I would read 365 or however many entries I
Yeah.
remembered. And there were so many things that I didn't even remember that happened. It's like, wow, that's really exciting. Or I'm stressing about that exact thing now, but this was a really positive thing that happened in that same situation. So I could see how reading it and doing it daily would put you in a better
Yes.
mindset for the next day.
Little pencil shavings will make a pile.
Huh.
And then like also I'm on this journey. I feel like we overuse the word manifesting like in the last 3 years. However, if you write down a goal and then you write down the steps you need to take to reach that goal and the qualities you need to have as a person to reach that goal, before you know it, you can achieve anything you want. So that is all I'm doing now. And then like dating for fun on the side and, seeing if anything goes anywhere and working. That's what I've been
Well,
doing.
yeah. I mean, I feel like that's a full plate. So
It
I'm really impressed that you're able to do all of those. Even Pilates, like, are you going to a studio every day or are you doing it at
I
home?
do. No. I
Wow.
go to a studio. I have a membership. I have a solid core membership. I don't know if I can,
You can say
hashtag.
whatever you want on this podcast
I
because
love it.
it
Good.
is what it is.
Yes, I love solid core. I have a solid core membership and I try and walk Luna like a mile a day. Bless her heart, like a half a mile in the morning and half a mile in the evening. And then I haven't completely cut out alcohol, but like 99.9% have cut it out.
Same. Yeah.
Just for mindfulness and for no reason other than I'm just trying to reach my goals, honestly, and keep clear skin.
And like, who has time for a hangover anymore?
No, it gets worse as the older you get too. Yeah.
I tried a glass of wine on New Year's Eve. I was like, oh, I can't believe I used to chug this stuff by the box when I was in
It's
college.
crazy.
But, yeah.
No, it's crazy. I'm loving it.
I mean, we're like the same. And I know we're chit-chatting a lot, but I do just want to take it back to Married at First Sight for a minute because I didn't ask you, are there any behind the scenes, whether good, bad, funny, whatever it is that we didn't get to see, but that are really fun to share? Because I know our listeners love to hear that. And so do I as a fangirl.
Okay, that night that I dressed up as Mitch,
Oh my God. So
that
funny.
night they obviously only showed 2 minutes. That night was the funniest night. The whole camera crew, the producers, we were all bawling, laughing so hard. We did this, what is it called? Remind me, when you have to do your little confessional moment.
Your OTF?
Your OTF.
OTF, yeah.
Him and I did a joint OTF together. I don't think it made the air. And just acting like him still. And oh my God, I just never laughed so hard with just, the plastic stuff and like just his diatribes of his purpose. And it's a great cause, don't get me wrong, but it was just, a funny place to be talking about plastic. Married at First Sight, of course. So that was hysterical. And we had so much fun that night. I will say, I thought I spoke about this, but I don't think it ever made the air. So, you film Decision Day, and then you have a long break, and then you come back and you film the reunion.
Mm-hmm.
And then after the reunion, you film Where Are They Now? I think you guys did things differently, but that's how we did it.
We did it.
So I remember after Decision Day, it was probably 2 months. Well, it was in April. I'm lying. So it's longer. So April is Decision Day, May, June, July, August, August-ish. It was August where we filmed the reunion. The night before the reunion, we check into our hotel in LA. And lo and behold, they put my hotel room right next to Mitch's.
Oh,
right next to each other.
Tricksters.
So I'm like, crazy in the head. I'm like, did they fucking do this on purpose?
Probably.
So I go down to the pool and, this was a stressful time. This is definitely back in my more so drinking a glass of wine days. And I got a glass of wine and I sat by the pool and Mitch was at the pool and it was late. It was like midnight. It was late. And he kind of like had his head down. And I walked over to him and I sat down and I was like, are you okay? Like, are you good? And to God's ears, he was like crying. And he was like, I really, really didn't know how I was behaving in that moment. I didn't know like how kind of bad it came off with you. And honestly, again, Mitch and I are good. I was Team Mitch during the show and I still am. It's really no hard feelings at all, but I couldn't tell if he was just kind of maybe a little upset about how things were, the backlash maybe that he got from the show, or if he was genuinely upset as to how he made me feel. I wasn't sure where the feelings were. And it wasn't like this sobbing, regretful moment. It was just like, a couple of like glistening tears. It was nice. It was a nice moment. I hugged him
Oh, that's
as
sweet.
he got misty. I told him, and I mean it to this day, do not worry about it. Like, again, I think I was the perfect person to get paired with you because I can handle
Yeah.
anything, literally, and it's all good. Like, don't worry about it. But anyway, I always wanted to know if that was more so directed at me, if that was because he was sad at how the public, because by then it's airing,
Yeah,
and the
that's tough.
the tough episodes were airing, like Shirtgate and like his meltdown over the streamers on the honeymoon
Oh,
and all that
yeah.
stuff was airing. So I don't know, but that was a moment where I just was like, not are we gonna hook up? Obviously not, but more so, was this real? Like, was this a real moment we had? Because sometimes I felt like the apologies would come on camera,
Yeah. Hmm.
and like a lot of good things I felt like he would do because they were on camera. So that was the one like raw, real moment that wasn't on camera. And I was like, was this real? Or is he scared I'm going to rip him apart at the reunion tomorrow?
It could be both, though. Maybe he was
Both could be
realizing,
true.
yeah, he could say, I made her feel bad and I'm going to have to pay for it at the reunion.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you started the story, I was like, ooh, is this going to get kinky? Because on decision day,
No.
you left us with a cliffhanger. So I think we were all
And by the
expecting
way,
something.
I would like to say, okay, I would like to talk about that.
Clear the air, girl.
In real life, there was no cliffhanger. I think that the audience and the producers, I think everyone maybe was confused because I was probably like comforting him when he was talking. I probably was holding his hand. And I know there was confusion with a door cracked and stuff like that. There was not. It is one of those things where I could see how people were confused as to how we left
Right.
things. It was because we left them on good terms. And then the door crack thing, like, kind of honestly pissed me off a little bit because I was like, who is cracking this door? Who is using this verbiage, door crack? Like, what are you talking about? And that was anything him and I had ever come up with. It was, I hate to blame the producers, but they were like, is there a door
Yeah.
crack? And I'm like, I don't know. Is there a door? Like,
I was just going to say, I can imagine a producer like, so is there a door crack between you two? And you being like,
Yes.
I don't know. It's not completely closed, but where's
Right.
the door?
It's
So
like,
I can see
it's
that.
a never say never
Right.
thing, and then you're like, oh my god, never say never is giving them hope. Oh my
Like, I
god,
should
they
have
think
said
I
never,
actually still
yeah.
want this. I should have said absolutely not, never. We're done forever. It just, that seemed very harsh.
Right,
but yeah,
right.
I should have said it because apparently this narrative of a door crack came out of that. So whatever.
Well, if you went back in time, of course things would be different, but you don't realize in that moment that those words are going to be taken to give people hope. So I know I was like, huh? Like, what just happened here? But I'm glad you clarified. So thank you.
Yes, sorry for the confusion, guys, but there was never, no, never anything. He got served papers, and he was very helpful during the divorce process. I did the heavy lifting. I mean, I
Of
did
course.
everything. However, I basically mailed him everything, told him where he needed to sign, and he did go to the court and deliver them. So I'm very grateful
Oh.
for that.
Okay. Well, I've heard some not so positive experiences, so that's at least a good one.
I think we're divorced. I mean, I hope so.
Imagine.
I
Like,
still, I signed papers, so.
that's actually really funny. Like, you try to get married again, and they're like, actually, we got to get Mitch involved. But hopefully you're divorced. This is my other favorite question that I actually do ask people. But what do you think was your biggest takeaway or learning lesson from Married at First Sight that you bring into future or current relationships, or just in general, actually, your biggest learning lesson that you could share with other people?
I hope I don't get heat for this, but you really, really, really need to get to know someone before you marry them. Unless you are like Nicole and Chris and Amani and Woody. And I'll say, what do you think? 1 out of 10, 1 out of 20? I mean, what's our success rate?
I don't even know. Chris and I are the only couple in the past like 8 seasons, I think. So I don't even know.
Okay.
But I
First
will
of
agree
all,
with you. I will agree with you. If you don't go on Married at First Sight, you should get to know someone. But this is a different
yes.
situation.
Exactly. I think that, like we said, you either get lucky or you settle when you meet a significant partner. I think I'm so grateful to the show for the couples and the babies that it has produced. And I truly love, I've met quite a few of the couples that are married, and I adore them, and they're incredibly in love. And again, they got lucky, just like real life though.
Right.
So it's not much different from dating and getting married in real life, honestly. It's just an expedited process. Um, it taught me that you really, really, really like that the relationship that you have with yourself is so, 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 so important. I hate to say you can't love someone else unless you love yourself, because I do think there's room for love as you're working on yourself. I do think that. But I think at the end of the day, you really, really want to be your own best friend and be comfortable in time alone, so that you're really, really grateful when you do get lucky and you do meet the right person.
Yeah, I love that. It is important to be able to work on yourself while in a relationship, but if you're starting from the bottom, you can't love the right person because you'll just love anyone at that point. So,
Exactly. You
yeah,
will end up in the wrong relationship. Is so important. You will end up in the wrong relationship if you are not the a best or as close to a best version
right,
of yourself that you can be, because you'll end up with someone that you're not supposed to end up with. You might settle, you might accept a love lesser than what you deserve.
right.
Um, so
Yeah.
two holes make a hole for sure.
Two holes make a hole. You're killing it tonight.
Oh God, I
No,
don't know
I
if that
love
one
that.
was good, but that one's true.
No, it is true. And even back to knowing someone, I completely agree. And there's no time limit. I'm not like you have to know someone for 6 months, 6 years, whatever. You could really know someone in 3 months.
Absolutely.
That's usually not the
Absolutely.
case. But if I see someone who's getting engaged to someone that they haven't been with a while and they really don't know them that well, I'm like, what? It was only 6 months. You're crazy. And then I have to remind myself I signed legal paperwork basically without knowing my husband's name, but that was a very different scenario. But yes, I totally agree with you because everyone shows their best self in the beginning. And if you don't get to know someone, then you're married to them. But, we all make mistakes.
Absolutely. Well, I'm really happy for you. And like I said,
Thank you.
all the couples that have made it, I definitely know that they're very, very much in love, and they got lucky, just like anybody can get lucky in real life and meet the person.
Yeah. We're going to overuse manifesting, but we're manifesting for you. And before I let
Yes.
you go, I'm going to try to make it a fast 5, but the way we're going, this might be another hour.
I'm gonna try. I'm sorry.
No, it's me. It's me. I have so many questions for you, and I just want to get all that I can out of our time together. But fast 5. So I know you and I are big readers, and we have a very similar taste in books. But do you have any
Oh my God,
top
yes.
recommendations for recent books?
Okay, so obviously I love the Sarah J. Maas universe. I know you've read it as well.
Done. Yes.
I actually, this is groundbreaking, but I started to read in my healing, journey of self-actualization. I started reading nonfiction, which I never read.
Wow.
You gotta read Atomic Habits. I think everybody by now has read it, but if you
I
haven't,
haven't.
it will change your life. Ego is the enemy is incredible for anyone who works, like if you have a job at all. That one's incredible for your work life. I have all my books behind me. Oh my God, anything by Kristen Hanna, The Great Alone, Nightingale, The Women. She does fiction, but like historical fiction, and her books are incredibly, incredibly deep, and you will remember them for life. Obviously, I freaking love a Frida McFadden, juicy, cover to cover.
Ugh.
Um,
The
The
Housemaid.
Housemaid.
Just gonna say,
I'm so
you're making
excited.
it a movie, right?
We're making it a movie with Amanda
So excited. Yes.
Seyfried, and Sydney Sweeney. I'll be first in line at the
I'll be with
theater.
you. I will come down, come up, come over, wherever. I'll see that with you.
So I would say Kristen Hanna, love romantasy, love
Yes.
Frida McFadden, and I've been dipping my toe in some nonfiction, and that's probably more than 5. But
Well, these were like my 5 questions for you, but you can have as many
oh,
answers.
Okay, keep going, keep going.
I know you're also a big reality TV gal, but what is your favorite reality TV show to watch?
All right, the best reality TV show of all time that's not like a dating show is Vanderpump Rules. Have you seen it?
So I never watched it, and now I really want to, but I feel like it's so far gone. I can't start from the beginning, but I
Honey,
can't just
yes,
pick.
you can.
I can't just pick up mid show.
No. Season 1, episode 1, enjoy. I'll see you in a month. Incredible, incredible TV. Vanderpump Rules. I think the best dating show has been Love is Blind, which is, of course, very, very similar to our show. Incredible show. I mean, it's won Emmys. And then I am a big Housewives fan. I love all of the Housewives, every single city. I love.
Do you watch Traders? Because a lot of the
Love.
housewives are on Traders. I want to be on that show.
Oh, I would go on Traders. Traders. I would love it.
Besides Traders, but what show would you go on if you could? Would you go on another reality show, actually?
Yes, and I would go on maybe Big Brother.
Ooh.
If you say no to Traders, Traders would be my number one. Big
Same.
Brother, or definitely not Survivor.
No,
Oh my
I would
God,
die.
Can you
I
imagine?
wouldn't even make it on the flight.
Oh, if anyone is listening out there, I want to get my father on 90 Day Fiance. Remember him when I told him about getting married?
Like the day
He
of.
is hysterical. He is made for television and he loves it. He also has a girlfriend who's 23 years old in Mexico.
Let's do it.
Begging, casting, please.
So we
He
need
would be
Traders and we need 90 Day Fiance. So if anyone out there knows casting for either show, send them our way.
I love my dad so much, and I would die to see him on TV again because he was hysterical.
Yeah, he was.
On Married at First Sight.
We'll go on Traders together. Oh my gosh, that'll be
I love that show.
the
I can't
dream.
wait for it to come back.
Your biggest goal for the year, is that working on yourself, or do you set intentions or resolutions,
Yes.
whatever people...
Oh my God, absolutely. So much. I actually have a lot of financial goals this year. Of course, I always want to be the healthiest, prettiest, fittest that I can, always. But I really want to invest more in property, which is why I bought this house, and I have my eye on a beach condo in my hometown, which is 2 hours away, that I really want to do, and I want to renovate it. And I have certain stocks I want to invest in. A lot of financial goals to set me up successfully.
You're such an adult. Check you out.
Oh my God, thank you. I really want to adopt another animal because my pretty princess, who's right here, who's sleeping, of course, she's the queen, or the princess of the house. I'm the queen. Maybe I want to adopt a kitty or another dog, TBD, but I want to save maybe an old sick animal of sorts or something. I do volunteer work at the American Red Cross, so I want to continue doing that. I need to write this down. I need to definitely write these down.
You can just play this podcast on a loop. You'll always have your own voice in your head.
Yes, I think that is good for now. Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot, and that's very admirable. So I can't wait to see what you do in the future, because I'm watching. I don't even care that I'm a creep. I'm like, yeah, I'm watching you.
I watch you guys too. I always look at I love your book recommendations, or when you start books and you have one of your dogs in it. I love it. I think we've literally read all the same things.
Yeah. Well, we're in a book club that you don't know we're in. So
yeah,
I appreciate you. But
definitely.
Thank you so much. Before we go, is there anything else you want to share with our listeners? Anything you want to clear the air on? Anything you want to say? This is your platform.
No, I think I said it all. I think it's amazing that you ladies are doing this. I think that it's important to do whatever it is that you want to do, and it can grow into something incredible. And I love the name. Great name.
Thank you so much.
Diaries. Absolutely. I think it's awesome.
Well, thank you, Krysten, so much for joining me today. This has been such a lovely conversation. And thank you, listeners, for listening. And if you have any questions for Krysten after this, tell them where they can find you.
They can find me on Instagram, chris.call, or comment on any picture or whatever, any clip you post of this. I don't know. Is that bad?
No, that's where they can find you. So
yes,
I love it.
I'll read them. Thank you so much, Nicole. This was amazing. I had so much fun.
Thank you. We'll come back soon. And everyone out there, thanks for listening. Remember to follow D-List Diaries on Instagram and send us an email. We love emails. And tune in next week for another episode. Bye.
Woo-hoo! Bye.